Good afternoon, good evening, and I guess good morning for some of our traders. It's nice to see you here, Mavericks. Let's get into what happened today. Now, this is Thursday, August 18th. We are one day going into August monthly options expiration. So let's keep that in mind when we take a look at everything. As you can see here, the market had another quiet day, and that's really what we've seen this week. We are basically flat to slightly up on the whole entire week. We really haven't gone anywhere. You can see the Dow is basically flat, the S&P up 0.2, NASDAQ up 0.2, the Russell was the outperformer. Take a look at oil. We got some news out of the oil sector that supplies were a little bit tighter than was expected and demand was a little bit greater. So oil had a pop. This thing has been trading below $90. We're now back above $90, but still, this is way better than oil up at 125 like we were just a couple months ago. On the daily news front, we had home sales. So we had existing home sales today. They fell 6%. We had building permits yesterday that fell about 9 or 10%. So the housing market definitely was weak, and we did see that real estate was our weakest sector today. We also heard from Fed President Bullard. He came out and said that he does support a 0.75% rate hike at the next meeting. The market is betting on a 50 basis point hike. So this is a little bit hotter than expected, but you can see the market didn't really care. So let's take a look at the market action today. And you can see here, we got some bullish price action. Take a look at the candles on this pullback. We've had 2 days of a quote unquote pullback, and you can see that they're both green. That's telling you that their buyers are still there, even after this huge run we had last week. The pullback, really nothing there. So it's a sign of the strength of this market and the fact that on days we have a pullback, it's still a green candle. We jump over here to the Qs, same thing. We had a pullback. Yesterday was a doji. Today was a doji. So we've just had 2 days of really nothing going on after a continuation on Monday of this week. Really, after that, we've just gone to a neutral supply and demand picture. 3 straight days of dojis. Yes, we had a gap down yesterday, but really, this is telling you that the market, it's not going any higher, but it's really not going any lower. It's just taking a break. I talked earlier about the strength in energy. Energy was super strong today, and the other area of strength was semiconductors. We had Cisco come out with better than expected earnings, and they actually raised their guidance for revenue, citing that the supply chain issues are really starting to go away. Other than that, you can see this is just a mixed day. Half the stocks were up, half the stocks were down, a little bit of bullishness, and that's about it. So let's take a look at where we are in the market and our outlook. We have been at a +3 now for 1 week, meaning that this has gone from a moderately bullish market to a very bullish market. We had a +1 on the week. We thought that we would take a pause here at this bit of resistance. We've been talking about this resistance level up here at the 430 area, and look, we're running headlong into it. We're not pulling it down hard, but it's just pausing here. I think we're probably going to go into tomorrow another boring flat day with another doji, and I think next week is really going to be the test of whether or not we can break higher, or if we actually get a pullback, somewhere back down to this 415 area would be the place for a pullback to happen. Overall, we are in a bullish market we're hitting our head up against some resistance. We think it's going to stay here until we can break through and charge a little bit higher. Let's take a look at some potential trades. I jumped into this one today. This is Estee Lauder. It was having a nice high base. And what happened was we had earnings this morning and it gapped lower. We had a gap down in earnings, but then look what happened. It went a little bit lower and then the buyers came in. At first glance, people didn't like the earnings, but by the end of the day, it was solidly higher. Whenever something goes higher on quote unquote bad news, you know that there's buyers out there. So I entered this one at 280, 285 diagonal call spread. So the September 280s sold the August 285s. Those are going to expire tomorrow. And then I can take a look and see what I want to do with those long calls going into September. Also, another setup I like that I'm waiting for is ZI Zoom Info. I really love these patterns. These are called high and tight bases. We had a monster run, 38 to 50. You would think after a stock jumps 12 points that it's going to have some sort of pullback. This one isn't, and it's staying in a very, very tight range. Usually in bases, we like to see the 20-period moving average make its way up there and put pressure on it. High and tight bases, they never get there. We usually get a breakout after about 5 candles. So this one is on my watch list. I want to see it clear out of this resistance area. So 51.90 is going to be my entry price. And I'm going to be using 54 as a target, probably either be diagonalized or in a vertical spread on this one. On a sideways trade, this is GameStop. Now, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, heck, 6 months ago, I would have never dreamed of trying to do a sideways play on GameStop. It was just too crazy. Now, one of the things I do like about it here in this setup is that we are back to the meme stocks. If you don't know what I'm talking about, stocks like Bed Bath & Beyond have gone bananas. They've gone insane. The meme stocks are kind of back in play as the market is more bullish, but GameStop really isn't participating, which tells me, okay, the volatility, that the craziness that we saw is probably tamped out of it at this point. I'm looking to do the 30, 40, 50 butterfly. You're going to have to go wide on this one. This thing still does move 6 to 7% every single day. Looking to go out to next Friday. So basically a 6-day trade on this one with 40 as the midpoint. On the short side, looking at Novovax. This one's been on my list. It triggered today. As you can see here, we gapped lower. We went into a low and tight base, and then we broke down. Look, you have to say that there is probably some support at 35. So short-term target is going to be 35. I like the September 40, and you can sell tomorrow's 35. If you do it early, you'll probably get a little bit in there. If not, you could always sell the 36 or even 37. So a diagonal put spread for 1 day, collect some of that credit, and then you can look to diagonalize it next week as well. But this one definitely looks weak and wants to go lower. Another one on my watch list here is Pinduoduo, PDD. This is a Chinese internet company, internet retailer, and you can see that it is in this descending triangle and trading down to the low. If we break this, we're probably looking all the way down to 42 before we see some support. So that's a nice little 10% potential fall here. Again, I love to trade diagonal call spreads and diagonal put spreads. So I'm looking at a September 50. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to look to see if I can get anything out of that 45. If I can't, I'll sell the 46. And then again, I'll collect that premium for a day, and I will hold that into next week and either look to hold the long puts or look to diagonalize it again with a shorter term put option. Let's talk about tomorrow. So look, we had a big run last week, a big jump on Monday, and since then we've just backed off and had dojis. The big question is, are people rushing to get into this market where they're saying, I have to get into this market tomorrow, a Friday before the weekend? I don't think so. I don't think that's where we are. We had a big run. We're consolidating. I think people are very happy to go into the weekend and come back next week and really make their decision. So I see markets being another flat market tomorrow. That's why I really like getting into those early diagonals, collecting some premium as they go sideways, reduce my cost basis, and then I can really take some action next week. So I think we're going to see a very small, slightly bullish candle tomorrow. I would not be surprised if we're up another 0.2% tomorrow to end the week off up 0.3, 0.4%. Would not surprise me whatsoever. We have no economic reports. We have no earnings reports tomorrow. So again, there's really nothing surprising that's likely to happen over the next 12 hours before the market reopens. So again, another reason why I think it's going to be a muted, kind of boring day tomorrow. It is options expiration for the month of August. We've seen that typically the volatility peaks on the Wednesday before options expiration. So I think we're going to have a fairly mellow day tomorrow and go into the weekend pretty much where we are. That is it for the market roundup. Thank you for joining me. Everyone, take care. Goodbye.